kicking my feet as I'm moving to the music. Step to the beat, I woke up today, canceled all my plans, and I stepped right outside with my guitar in my hands, and the notes became loud as the sound caressed the air, and I kicked it up a notch as I strolled without a care, cause I'm going down the road to a brand new place, and I'll get there with a smile on my face. Yeah, so lift me up, I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on, clap your hands and won't you sing along, and now let's take it up high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. Gotta keep the fire, keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning.
Good evening, I'm Aram Karsian and you're watching House to Home. Joining me tonight is a rock music band ATOMIX, and here to talk about their debut album, In a Perfect World. Good evening, guys, and welcome. Great to have all three of you here.
Thank you for having us here.
Before we talk about the album, I want to give our audience a chance to get to know you and how you started in the business. And Tom, why don't we start with you, and Mico and Patrick, feel free to jump in anytime you want.
Yeah, please jump in, save me when I'm sinking. You know? For me to start, it's a, boy, I'll try and squish this all in. My parents were both musicians, singers.
Right.
And so when they didn't have someone to watch us, we'd have to go to the studio with them, and we'd make too much noise in the control room, and they'd shove us out into the studio, which is where we wanted to be, because there's drums out there, and basses, and guitars. And
awesome.
so it's kind of a natural evolution, you know, to start playing, and then, of course, I made my way into the control room.
Sure.
Because there was too much
And you
new
started
stuff to
this
play with
when you were 14?
Oh gosh, the musician stuff started, you know, with instruments and everything started when I was much younger. But yeah, 14, I made my way into the control room.
Control room.
Yeah, my dad was actually putting in a new console with everyone at the studio. And the techs and the engineers were all long hair rock and rollers, so they're listening to Black Sabbath back in the tech room. You know, I was like, man, I need to go and hang out down there more often. So, you know, I used to run for like burgers and stuff on my dirt bike, and
awesome.
You know, eventually got to run the tape machine, set the mics up, and then the rest of it is kind of turning into what it is now. Yeah, it's turned into a career actually.
Mico, I know you started out pretty young too.
Yeah, well, when I came home from the hospital, there was a 15-piece rock and roll band in my living room. So it was kind of, you know, and we lived directly across the street first, and then next door to a band called Delaney and Bonnie, who during the early 70s were really pivotal in a lot of people's careers, Harrison, George Harrison and Eric Clapton, and you know, a bunch of other people. And
he was like the E-Trust baby that was up there.
So it was kind of like I had no choice, you know. It's like pick up an instrument quick. And then my dad ended up doing an acting career, you know. So that kind of opened up a lot of doors in a lot of different ways, and just showed a whole world of craft and artistry to me really young. So it was great. I started playing guitar at like 12, and bass as well, and just went
bass
from there.
Is your passion?
Bass, yeah, both actually. You
both
know, I mean,
guitar.
they are both very different instruments and different animals, and need to be treated as such. But yeah, I play a lot more bass these days, which I'm really having a great time. It really holds the fort together and stuff.
I've seen you play. I've noticed that you're really passionate about what you do.
Well, it's great because you know, playing with these guys, it really makes it a lot of fun. Because you know,
how is it like playing with that guy?
With Patrick? Oh man, it's always an adventure.
Sorry, bro.
No, it's always an adventure. It's great. Are you kidding? It's the most fun I think I've ever had with a drummer, because he's just so solid and so sincere with his instrument, and it's really
yeah, other than his timing and his tone and stuff and his choice of drums, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, no,
yeah, and they send checks every week.
Exactly. He's phenomenal. So
Pat, I've heard you play. You're phenomenal.
Oh.
You're phenomenal.
Thank you. That's another check for you.
You know, Tom called you the missing link. The missing link. That distinctly.
Well, you know, a band, it's funny to say, and I know everyone, a lot of people will say and agree, is that a band's only as good as its drummer.
Yeah.
And when you have a guy like that, man, it's all good. Doesn't matter.
When I heard you play, Mico, I want to be a drummer when I grow up.
You mean Patrick?
I'm sorry,
On
Patrick.
the drummer's perspective, if you play with people that really don't know what's going on, they make you sound bad. So you know, it's all a collaborative effort. You know, I sound as good as everybody in the band, you know, or you put a drummer.
I gotta send out a check.
It's like, cool. Anyway,
how much did you want for that one?
Exactly.
I gotta send, when I write this check, how much do I have to
what's that?
make this check out for when I send it to
Well,
you?
yeah, we'll work it out.
Yeah, okay.
We got a few things going on.
Okay, yeah,
already,
that's true. You can take it out of
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be talking about more about their debut album, In the Perfect World. And we're going to talk more about you guys and ATOMIX and how that came about, and the video that we're going to show you, the music video. It's actually airing first time ever.
This is the premiere. We'll be
First
showing
time?
it here. I mean,
Yeah.
we're
So-
releasing it worldwide in about 3 days.
So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Walking down the sidewalk, kicking my feet as I'm moving to the music. Step to the beat. I woke up today, canceled all my plans, and I stepped right outside with my guitar in my hands, and the notes became loud as the sound caressed the air, and I kicked it up a notch as I strolled without a care, 'cause I'm going down the road to a brand new place, and I'll get there with a smile on my face. Yeah, so lift me up. I'm moving on, singing and dancing while I play my song. Yeah, I'm having a good time, keeping it going. Come on, clap your hands and won't you sing along? And now let's take it up high. Give our dreams their wings to fly. Gotta keep the fire burning, keep the hope alive. You gotta keep it turning.
Welcome back. You're watching House to Home, and I'm Aram Karsian, talking with my friends, ATOMIX, Tom Fletcher, Mico Olmos, and Patrick Caccia. And we're talking about their debut album, In the Perfect World. Let's talk about that a little bit,
Okay.
how that came about, how ATOMIX came about, and what happened.
Interesting in that it wasn't a plan. You know, it was like something that just happened in the fact that I was kind of putting my hand at writing songs and doing demos on my own, and, you know, showing them to a few friends, but not really putting it out there or anything. And through a friend of ours, Patrick and I had been working on previous stuff together, and Patrick heard one of the songs and said, "Can I play on that?" And it came out really neat. You know, I mean, you hear it back, you go, wow. When you have a drummer like that who plays on your song, it takes it to a whole nother level. And he asked to play on some other ones, but what really spawned it was he came in out of nowhere and said, "What if you sang this melody?" And I was like, wait a second, do that again?
Yeah.
And,
Why don't you sing that
melody?
melody?
Exactly. Why don't you sing that melody? And we stuck him in the vocal booth, and it really turned into, and then Mico came in. I'd been working on a previous project with Mico. So not only is he a great guitar player, as you previously mentioned, but he's a great bass player. So I called him and said, "Hey, Mico, what are you doing, man? You want to come down and maybe put some bass on this stuff?" And just one thing led to another, and other people really suggested that we work with to put it out as a record. And because we were just going to get it in movies and TV.
Sure.
And it sort of just turned into a band on its own. And it
took a life of its
play
own.
with two guys like this.
And I've noticed that about you guys, and I've been to this studio, and when you guys are together, there's this mutual respect and friendship that is really key for a band to have, I think. What do you think?
That's the funny that you mentioned, because what we have personally together, which I've always admired, you know, Tom, and then I got to see Mico, and as soon as he walked into the studio, I was like, I really like this guy. And it was just, it came out natural. And then if you pay attention to the CD and the whole message behind it, it's actually like, it's the same thing. Like we're doing nothing else but they're just putting on a record the way we feel about each other and everybody else around us.
But there is a bigger purpose behind it, right? It's not just ATOMIX, another band.
Well, you know,
what is the purpose of ATOMIX?
Tom can explain
If
that.
you don't mind if I
Go,
yeah,
man,
I mean, without being preachy. We never want to be preachy.
Sure.
But Atomics, in our lyrics and what we put together, we try very much to be positive. We want to share things on a broad perspective that other people can relate to, everyone can relate to. And there's so much negative with, you know, what's happening in the housing industry and what's happened with the banking, and just so much negative energy.
The economy, the sky is falling.
We just would like to put out the word of that, you know, if we all acknowledge each other and just say thank you, which you'll see in a minute what I'm really talking about, is that, you know, we just want to start putting that message out there. And we find more and more people that hear what we're doing or we talk to, they all have the same thing. It's like, yeah, being positive, it's something we need to start putting out there. So, you know, just saying thank you to each other once in a while.
And being nice to each other.
Absolutely.
It goes a real long way,
Yeah.
man. It really does go a long way, just that simple thank you and acknowledging people.
Amazing things happen to nice people, you know, when you give to everybody, you know.
You can, you know, it's amazing how a simple gesture can make such a big difference in somebody's life. And, you know, and then you pay it forward.
True story.
And when you were writing thank you, you wrote the thank you song, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
right?
I started it.
And
It's
then
really
you started
everything's a
and
collaborative
collaborated.
effort now. Yeah.
How did that thank you, the specific thank you, came about?
Great question. The real, and you'll see actually, because Mico's daughter opens our song. A friend of mine's daughter had just been born. It was his first daughter. And just the look in his face and the things that he was saying that day really turned into, you know, thank you for being in my life. And just all the things that change in you when you realize that this person now depends on you for the rest of their life.
Yes.
And, you know, you just have that overwhelming feeling of love. But that's how it turned into the broader perspective of the metaphor for the whole song. It's just about love, compassion, and, you know, having respect for each other. And
I've heard the song many times. I love the album, and the music video I've seen, of course, because I have the advantage knowing you guys, and that the music video resonates that thank you for being in my life. It's
Thank you, Adam.
I'm hoping that our audience is gonna appreciate it, which I'm sure they are. So let's go back and watch the video, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about it.
Oh, great.
And thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanna thank you for being in my life. I just wanna thank you for being in my life.
Changing points of view, she makes you feel you'll never have to choose. So much I won't say, can't wait to take a day and tell you all the things that I do with my life because of you. I just wanna thank you for being in my life. I just want to thank you for being in my life. I just want to thank you for being in my life. I just want to thank you.
out and joy.
And we're back, talking to ATOMIX, Tom Fletcher, Mico Olmos, and Patrick Caccia. Wonderful video. I love it.
Thank you very much.
I love it. It's. I'm sure whoever saw it, they're appreciating right now, and this was the first time it's airing, actually.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And I know you are multi-talented guys. You don't just write songs. You don't just play instruments. Mico, you are an actor. You're a producer.
Yep. I just finished producing a film called Philly Brown with
Awesome.
my father and my brother and a couple other production companies, Silent Giant and SEMA Productions,
and your father is
Edward James Olmos.
James Olmos.
He's an actor, so he's been at the game for a little while. You know.
He's done one or two things.
He's done a few
Yes,
things.
I think so. And he's not only an actor; he's an activist. He really is for the people.
Yeah,
and
he
really
showed us that real young. You know, that we had to. That it was really important to remember where we came from. You know, and to not let things get carried away, so to speak. You know.
Yeah, even his movies touched lives where people, you know, followed his model, the character that he plays in the movies.
Yeah, you know, he really resonates, I think, with a lot of people across cultures. You know, to remember that we're all just human.
Yeah, and
You know,
I'll
it's a
just
huge
jump in
thing.
for a
Yeah,
second.
please.
I've been very fortunate
Please.
to know them for at least 20 years.
Don't age us like that.
Yeah,
But
I know that. But Eddie has been, you know, such an influence on all of us just because of seeing his work ethic and the way he treats people. It's everything we talk about. It's, you know, it influenced all of us.
yeah, and it goes back to like what Tom was saying and Patrick was saying earlier is the simple message of just saying thank you. It goes such a long way, you know, and really creates a ripple effect, you know, a positive ripple effect. I just am so fortunate to be a part of this right here, you know, with these guys, and to be here with you guys. So it's been great.
Well, we're talking to ATOMIX. If you should go check it out. The album is called In the Perfect World. It's available on iTunes and Amazon, and check them out. It's real good. I love everything on there, but my favorite is Thank You.
Nice.
Thank You is the perfect
Yeah,
because
there's
I
more
have
to
3
come, too.
kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love them.
Yeah.
And that's, you know,
Yeah.
when you have kids, you know what that means.
You know, it's funny because everybody, like, when they see the product coming out, they were like, "Oh, that's great." So the record, and so what's next? And the funny thing is that we haven't stopped since the release of this. Like, there's so many, right in between things at the studios. Like Tom is like, you hear him doing something, and I just go like, "What was that?" Next thing you know, it's another song.
That's
There's
after.
another song.
That's
There's another
after
song,
he
yeah.
said, "Man, can you stop playing that guitar like 3 times?" I watch him working because he had it, and then I'll just kind of start strumming something, and he's like, and then it's like, "I'm sorry," and then I'll play something and think it's irritating him, and he's like,
Right.
"Wait a minute," and then he stops working. What if we? And the next thing you know, we're out riding
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, and then we already have 2 more songs in the can.
I know.
2 more, and there's you know, we all use like the latest technology to just throw down like basic ideas or using phones and stuff like
Sure.
that. My iPhone, as the other night, he goes like, "Oh, I got this great idea," and I go like, "Great, let me get my phone," and I hit the record button, and it's like the memory's full.
Blowing up.
And I just go like, "Okay, Tom, we're just gonna have to progress with what we have." Stop for
Use
it.
our
already got
memory
on
for
it.
There's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much coming that it's amazing, you know, and we can't stop because it's whatever you feel. If hopefully everybody can feel it from the record, it's how we feel when we're together, and we spend 16 hours a day together.
Oh, I know. You guys.
true
you
story.
guys- and especially Mico, you have 3 daughters, family. You're acting,
I
you're
know,
producing,
Yeah.
hero.
and you're in the recording studio with these guys
24/7.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys
Well,
do
we
it.
use Marley to
just do it.
open up the video,
Right,
and
yeah.
that way you can see them all the
Yeah, I
time.
already know Marley. I haven't met Marley, but when I see him, I already know her.
Yeah, it's like, just
Yeah.
in case you forgot, Mico,
Yeah.
here's Marley
Here's
again.
here's
Okay.
your youngest. Yeah.
And I know, as you were saying, creative side is phenomenal. You guys are already working on your next album,
Yeah.
which I already know a little bit about it. The song called
Watch them.
Watch Them Walk By, and that was dedicated. That's going to be dedicated
Well, the actual intention of the song of "Watch Them Walk By" is it's about all the great people that have come through this plane and left a mark on our, society, our world. And Steve Jobs had passed away.
Yes.
And he left such an incredible mark on this planet. One of the lyrics actually says the world is moving faster by his design.
Yes.
So it turned into our memorial to him.
Yes.
Because we use all the stuff that his computers, that we use to make our music and videos and everything that we do. But yes, Autumn does have a personal thing on it because we actually captured him in the studio and the three of us were doing vocals and we couldn't
true
punch,
story.
so we threw
True
him
story.
in. We said, Aram, you ever record a record before?
awesome.
No? Well, you will today. And it was awesome because we have a little vocal booth. And usually it's one person in there at the most, and all three of us got into this vocal booth. And Artem's in there punching.
True story.
And we're losing oxygen in this room as we're singing. And I mean, by the time we got to the last one, he punches in, not one of us hit the right note.
But we ended up with a laugh.
Well, I kept the laugh and used it in the
It's
song.
actually in the song.
Yes.
But it was so funny because Autumn didn't really know what was going on in there. And Patrick is like, we're laughing so hard. He's like, Autumn, when you get done with this punch, you should come in here and hang out with us.
Bring a deck of cards and we'll all hang out.
Hang out in the booth, man. Bring your cards.
The booth is the size of a small closet.
It's hysterical.
It was great. You did a great job.
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
You
can
have
hear
an
it. You'll be able
engineering
to.
credit on the next record.
Exactly. You'll hear his work on the next album.
Exactly.
True story.
So, things are happening for ATOMIX.
Yes.
Congratulations on your album. Congratulations
Thank you
on
very
your.
much.
And let's talk a little bit about who brought this video and who has their hands in
So
it.
where's the bar?
Yeah, exactly. This guy. I mean,
Yeah.
343 Productions. You guys just started that too, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
343 Productions is the one that takes credit for producing this video, basically.
Absolutely.
And-
But all of it is Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy got Final Cut and
we
started
just let him
pulling
loose.
in the footage and oh my God! But man, there are some classic moments. If I could put a microphone up in that room and you could hear his comments, you can't say them on live TV. It's unbelievable. He's up there. I mean, it's a.
Patrick, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Right?
I was going through that this whole week.
Yeah, it's like you and Tom is calling. Hey man, how's it going there? I mean, in the rendering world, waiting for the system, and then the whole tower. By the end of the video, it started like locking up on me and the graphic card, and I just go like, I'm not that hip with these things, It's like I'm trying to understand, but
Oh, he says to me, "Oh, the computer's blowing up, right?"
Right.
So
True
I get to the studio. He's not kidding. Like the sides are off the computer. There's fans blowing on it. It's like it's literally blowing up.
yeah, but it's the thing is that this project, which again I did not expect to. I go like, who knew? One day I just woke up and I just go like, look what's happening here. Something really magic, and then you get really passionate about what you're doing, and as soon as I started just by just doing something, you just want to do it. It's one of these things that it feels so great to throw out a message like this with this band and with people that I admire so much, and they're like my best friends now. That you just get passionate. You just want to get it done. I want to get it done right and make it the best looking thing that you can, or sounding thing that you can ever give out to people.
Wow, people hear with their eyes these days, so you said it right.
True.
So yeah.
Well, Pat, Mico, Tom, it's great knowing you guys. I mean, it's a pleasure. Thank you
Likewise.
for
Likewise.
coming out and
Thank you
making
for
House
having
to
us.
Home shine, basically.
you.
And please check them out online on iTunes and Amazon. The name of the album is In a Perfect World, and the name of the band is ATOMIX. Thank you again.
Yes,
Thank you.
of
And
course.
please
Thank you very much.
go check them out. Thank you and good
everybody.
night. That was great.
There's something more that I would like to try to say to you. I just wanna thank you for being in my life. I just wanna thank you for being in my life.
I just wanna